Hey everybody, it's Coach Teddy. I wanted to send you a quick video, just an overview on how we're doing the 3-on-3. I think you're going to love it. It's very cool, but watch this very quick video. It'll explain everything. If you have any questions, shoot me a text. Tell you what makes the TDBA 3-on-3 league so incredible, what makes it different, what makes it better. It's different than every other league. There's nothing else like this, and that's because we put a lot into it, and it really is all about developmental. So as I scroll here, first I want to talk about the league format, scoring, and the rules, how it works. So games are played 3-on-3. We play them full court. We play them short court, which means 5-on-5 game. You know how there's those side baskets that nobody gets to use. We don't do that. So we have 2 games running simultaneously. Now the league is focused on developing basketball IQ, game situations, and confidence using the skills. 3-on-3 is great because in a 5-on-5 setting, typically with kids the spacing is not as good, and one person dominates the ball. It's the best way to win. Some people never get it. Some people get to hide. Obviously, a brand new player doesn't get the ball much and they might fall out of love with the game of basketball. Not what we're trying to do here. In 3-on-3, it's really cool because the game is more wide open, it's more possessions, it's more shots, and just because of the way it's set up, everybody gets a chance to handle the ball and develop their skills. So what we do here is each 1-hour game block will consist of 4 to 5 mini games that creates more end-of-game situations. Now, if you've participated in any league, whether it's travel ball, YMCA, you know that most games end in a decisive blowout. Very rarely do kids get to practice end-of-game situations. You know, when do you foul at the end of games? How do you call timeouts? What's a good shot at the beginning? What's a good shot at the end? Just managing time and score. So it's really cool. But what's also neat is at the end of each mini game, we record the score. I'll show you how we do that in just a second. But then the clock resets and we start the next game with 0-0, which really prevents anybody from getting blown out bad. Games are 7 or 8 minutes, okay? Sometimes if we have a little bit of time left, we'll do 1-7, but we try and do 8 so that each game simulates the fourth quarter. If you're going to the fourth quarter tied, that's what we're doing. It's really cool. Now, in addition to your team's total points, each individual in our Camp Champ race will receive 10 bonus points. And I'm going to show you how all that works here in just a second. It's really, really cool, okay? But let's get back here. Work. So who is this for? TDBA 3-on-3 League is perfect for all players, all skill levels. We have 5 different age and skill divisions the way we evaluate and break them down. Okay? Your player will compete in an environment that is fair and competitive. Nobody wins when there's no hope of success. Kids that blow out other kids are not getting better. Kids that get blown out by other kids are not getting better. Good competition doesn't mean you're playing against the best of the best if you're brand new. Good competition means you have a chance to win. And if you do or you don't, you want to get back and practice and come back next week and try again. That's the life skill we're learning as adults. Picking yourself up off the mat. Working hard when things aren't going against you. Looking at something that you know is unfair and it stinks and it really affects you, but being able to continue on. Wouldn't you say that's probably pretty important right now? I sure would. Life skills from basketball, for real. Whether you're a seasoned veteran, looking to enhance and hone your skills in a way nobody else does it, 3-on-3 full court, or you're playing a league for the first time, this is the best league for you. Boys and girls, welcome. Why does it work? Appropriate competition. We found this format to create more competitive, more realistic game experience for the kids. In a vast majority of leagues, teams are severely unbalanced. Everyone knows who the league champ will be before the league even starts. Our format eliminates that dilemma, especially the way we set up teams. I'm going to explain that to you in just a second. End-of-game situations. As I said, this is where players develop an understanding for the game and their basketball IQ. The way we do short mini games, heck, you got to think about this. If somebody's playing at 11 a.m. in the game block, they're probably going to play 4 or 5 close games. There's no volunteer coaching. Our professional TDBA staff, including myself, coach and ref every game. Parents are not asked to step up and do something they don't know how to do and they're not comfortable doing. Our professional staff does it. So in these short mini games, in 1 hour block, your child could play more close games and experience more end of game special situations than they have in their entire life in 1 hour. They could experience more close games and go through more end of game situations in 1 hour than they would in an entire summer of travel ball and AAU games, especially if they're new. Because if you're a new player and you're on a team, you're probably not going to be in the game if it is close at crunch time. We have special boost scoring. Now this is so cool. I'm not even going to try and explain it to you guys. You got to trust me on this one. I know what I'm doing. I know how to get the kids to play the right way. It is so cool. They love it. It keeps it fresh. It keeps it exciting. And it gives kids incentive to play the game the right way. Something we really want to teach them to do. Because if you're learning now and you learn the right way now, you'll be a good player later. And this is a beautiful thing. So obviously, our coaches and our staff are just incredible. We're out there all the time. Like I said, volunteer parents do the best they can. They do the best they can. But the biggest complaint I hear about these other leagues, whether it's, I'm not going to throw names out there, it's the coaching always stinks. They don't know what to do. They teach the wrong things. It's not fair, yada, yada, yada. 3-on-3, everybody gets a ton of playing time. Everybody gets a ton of shots. Everybody gets elite, top-of-the-line coaching. And it's just fun. And obviously, as we know, 3-on-3 is now in the Olympics. So I think it's really cool. It's a great way to play. We get the kids going up and down, 3-on-3 full court. And I'm going to show you how we do the scoring. 3-on-3 scoring. Now, we talked about mini games. So what is mini games? It means that we start here, let's call it 11 a.m., okay? And here's who's here today, and we do subs. But in the first game, whoever shows up, say it's Joseph, Taylor, Brandon, Joel, Jaden, Jordan, Noel, and Luke. Now, we don't just split into constant teams because especially in 3-on-3, what happens if one team's best player isn't there, one team's worst player isn't there, or heck, let's say two teams, two players aren't there. Now you only have 2 players there. And I'm sure you've run into this even in your 5-on-5 leagues where players don't show up. And again, the game gets totally skewed. And there's no real way to keep it even. So what we do is when you have your game block, you're already matched up with people your age, your size, and your skill. Based on who shows up, you get assigned teams. So today in block 1, Joseph, Taylor, Joel, Brandon, Jaden, Jordan, Noel, and Luke showed up. And so in game number 1, Joseph, Taylor, Joel, and Brandon, 1, 2, and 3, 4, play against Jaden, Jordan, Noel, and Luke, 5, 6, 7, 8. The final score of that 8-minute game, they fouled, they got ahead, it's awesome. 15-12. Well, what ends up happening is Joseph, Taylor, Joel, Brandon, they get their 15 points for what their team scored, plus 10 for winning. They each got 25 total camp champ points. 5, 6, 7, 8 each get 12 because that's what their team scored. Now, for the total day, their total score, it's kind of like a plus minus. It sees who really affects the game. It's not just about who scores most. It's about who hustles the most and help their team win. Now, let's say the next game, we switch again. It's 1, 3, 5, 7. So now it's Joseph, Joel, Jaden, and Noel versus Luke, Jordan. And let's say the score of this game is 10-6. Everybody on 1, 3, 5, 7 gets their 10 for their points, plus another 10 for winning. So it looks like Joseph gets 20. 3, Joel gets 20. 5, Jaden gets 20. Noel's on the team, gets 20. Luke gets 6. Jordan gets 6. Brandon gets 6. Taylor gets 6. Now in the next game, 1, 8, 5, 7. Let's say this game originally jumped out and the score was 18-0. 18-0. Okay? But Joel, man, has he been playing so hard. And even though he's losing 18-0, he doesn't quit. and he gets a steal, and he gets another steal and a score, and he gets another steal and a score and an and one. And now everybody gets fired up, and he gets another score. And here we go on a big run. But then they foul, and they only make one. And then they get the ball back, and they score again. And they foul, and they only make one. And then they get another two. And they foul, and he misses, and now they got a shot to win, and they came back, and they managed the time. They managed the score. They played real basketball. So instead of losing 28-0, because they quit when they got behind, they fought back. In any case, they don't get the 10-point bonus. 1, 8, 4, and 5 get their 20 plus the 10-point bonus. So 1 gets 30. Who else is on that team? 8 gets 30. Who else on the team? 4 and 5 both get 30. And because they fought back, everybody in that team, 2, 7, and 3, 6, each get 19. Good job, Joel. Way to fight back and be a leader. Now, in the final game, we'll call it right here. We're running out of time. They fouled a lot in this game, but we usually play 4 or 5 8-minute games, 40 minutes. You know, we keep things moving along. If you've ever been in one of my leagues, whether it's the church league or 3-on-3 or anything, you know I've been doing this a little bit. So in this game, 1, 2, 7, and 6, this time Team B wins 14-10. So 1, 2, 5, 7, and 6 would each get their 10 points. They lost that game. And this time it looks like 3, 4, 5, and 8 got 14 plus their 10, which gives them 24, 24, 24, 24. And then at the end of the day, we've got a total camp champ score. So it's a lot of fun. You're playing with different teams. It doesn't matter who shows up. It's always good. We make sure the teams are even. And even the substitution patterns, we make sure it works properly. So it looks like coming down to the wire today, boom, boom, boom. Oh, man. Close game. But wow, today's camp champ would be Joel. Had Joel quit when he was losing, he had pouted. He didn't get the ball. All the things we don't want. Complain about the coach. Not going to happen. I hope not. I think I'm a good coach. Try my hardest. Joel, because he fought back in that game, and even though he lost, and he got the other team, it put him in a position where he's the daily camp champ. The daily plus minus. You know, you got to think of college coaches, they don't really necessarily look at who scores the most points. They do a plus minus. That's how they keep track of a player's efficiency and how good they are, especially coaches who get paid to win and coaches who are trying hard to win even at the high school or youth level. It's not about who scores the most points. It's about who helps their team play the best. We keep a daily camp champ, you get a prize, and then we also keep an end of the season camp champ. And so that way, even though we're in a team setting, you're playing with a lot of people, you're rewarded for playing together and hustling, at the end, we have a champion. And so it's really, really cool. You know, you're playing with your team, but you're also there for yourself. Everybody gets a piece of what it feels like to win. They keep score. Every single possession matters for every second, no matter what the score is. So it's very exciting. That's how we do it.